Well. What's going on, people? What's going on, people? But this is another episode, another rendition of 6MK versus Kev. As you already know, this is the solo dolo side of the game. So, hey, I'm your man, 6MK, aka K Styles, and we are sitting here just to sit down with a few minutes so you can have a one-on-one intimate side with your boy K Styles here before we finish off the star-studded night where we have the Ladybirds of AFN coming on at 8 o'clock, as well as we have the Minister coming in at 9 o'clock. So we appreciate y'all coming in. Like you said, man, y'all just make sure y'all hit that subscribe button to System K Live. D. Coleman, shut the hell up talking about Kev's Crash Out Corner. No. We feng shui today. This is the combination of 6MK and Kev. So, but that is an interesting name for the show, the Kev's Crash Out Corner. I can't call it KKK in this bitch. We can't do that. But let's go ahead and do this thing the right way. Do this the right way. So if you're new to the channel, you make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. 6MK Live or at the 6MK Live. And we're going to be having a couple of subjects that I want to go ahead and get off my chest. Yeah, like Mad Mike Sports say, subscribe, you motherfuckers. Or in a nice way, he said, you mofos. So we have a couple conversations we want to go into today. But before we do that, I wanna start this off with a little bit of wrestling news, and I want to definitely give a shout out to Miss Trinity Fatu and Jonathan Fatu. For those that may not know who that is Naomi and Big Jim for coming out, and it's possibly a baby that may be on the way for those two. For those that may not know, the wrestling fans, like you said, Miss Trinity Fatu dealing with a lot. She had dealt with a lot of fertility issues throughout her career, and this is kind of a miracle baby type of thing. So the bloodline is going to be expanded. Naomi and and Jim Uso are expecting a new baby. So, hey, shout out to them. D. Coleman said, yeah, she said, I ain't handing you shit. So let's give a shout out to the people that's in here already. Like you said, we got Smooth C78, we got D. Coleman, we got Mike Crazy Ass, Southside, we got Reggie 2K. Hey man, I just wanted to kick it off with that, man, just to show my congratulations to those two, because like I said, the thing is, a lot of people don't understand. You have a lot of couples out here that are not able to conceive children the right way or the normal way. Like I said, just based on certain physiological circumstances. But hey, I love it for those two, man. So let's go ahead and get right into the subject at hand. We have it's really two topics, but it's three subjects at the same time. As you've seen what the title of the live is, it is Daniel Jones, QB1, Joe Flacco, QB1. And we're going to talk about, is it possible that Clark Phillips III may be on his way out of Atlanta? So before we go ahead and start it off, I'm gonna let the people that's in here right now let you go ahead and choose and let me know how y'all want to kick this damn thing off. And today's top fan of the live, of course, is Mad Money Sports. We like you say, if you've seen the feature that's on this live with a crown on the side, that is the top fans of the live. So far we have Mad Mike Sports, we got D Coleman and Smooth C78 tied, and Strap 24 is tied for the top fans of the live. So D Sloan, what's going on? So I want to let y'all know how y'all want me to kick this thing off. Like I said, the three topics at hand is Daniel Jones and Joe Flacco, QB1s for 2025, or do you want to start off with this Clark Phillips topic at hand? So let me know how y'all want to do this thing. All right, Strap says Clark Phillips. We got D Sloan that says Clark Phillips. Let's go ahead and do it right there. Now, for so Reggie, he coming up here. He's number one right now. So Clark Phillips III, for those that may not know, is there has been a multitude of different situations going on in Falcons training camp. As shout out to Mark Ramondi, who was a guest on one of the shows that we did, who had reported out as Clark Phillips will not be at Falcons training camp this week. Rather, he's dealing with an injury or whatnot. But at the same time, while he has not been here, we've seen the likes of a guy like a Natron Brooks, who has been showing out not only in the last preseason game, but he's definitely been showing out in camp. So the question that comes down with this situation is, how safe is Clark Phillips III? Now, if a lot of folk know, I am a Clark Phillips III fan. I think a lot of us are fans of his. The biggest thing that we have to look at from this situation is you're dealing with a different defensive coordinator whose main ideology is the front seven. Like I said, if we look at the corner position and we look at the slot corner position, you're looking at a AJ Terrell, you looking at Clark, you looking at Mike Hughes, D. Alford, Billy Bowman, like you said, Natron Brooks, Clark Phillips, Mike Ford. So you have a corner situation which is very, very deep. I ain't gonna say very deep as far as saying that, oh shit, we got Pro Bowlers 1 through 5. But the thing about it is do this defensive staff, or do they really believe, or do they really trust in a Clark Phillips right now? And as much as a multitude of plays that he made in 2024, where he got the pick 6 against Carolina, we seen a couple pass breakups. Does Jeff Ulbrich, does he believe that Clark Phillips can make this squad?
because that's going to be the main thing that's going to be the talking point. Do I believe Clark Phillips has a space on this team in 2025? I believe so because of the mindset of a guy like that. Like you said, he's really an undersized corner in itself. Going at about 5'9", 178 and stuff like that. But he is a fighter. Like you said, he has made those plays in the regular season, which kind of gives him an advantage over certain guys on this roster. Like you said, of Mike Ford or of a Natron Brooks and stuff like that. But everything is going to be dictated based on what Jeff Ulbrich wants. And we know Jeff Ulbrich is a front seven guy. Let's get some of these comments right quick. Let's see what y'all think. What do y'all think about the prospects of Clark Phillips? Do y'all believe that he has a chance of making the squad? Do you believe that he is kind of on the fringe, or do you think he just straight up out of here? Uh, Strapped Up says he's not safe at all. Too many hungry, talented players on this team. D. Coleman here said Clark is in grave danger. Southside here says haven't really been impressed with Phillips, but outside of AJ and Hughes, I wasn't really impressed with our outside corners playing in the first two preseason games. But the thing is, we really haven't seen too much of Clark Phillips in this preseason, neither. So it's going to be one of those things where is the reputation of how good he can be is going to be able to save him, or is it the fact that we haven't seen much of him is going to be the downfall of him? Like I said, Mike here said Natron Brooks is fighting. Um, D. Sloan here says with Clark being out and taking reps is going to be a close, tough decision. I think Clark's chances of being cut or making squad are equal. He's far from a lock. And this is kind of one of the things that we've been saying over here with the Unholy Alliance for a while, especially like you say, especially with the way this offseason the team has been constructed. It's going to be a lot of tough cuts. I think me personally, it's all going to be dependent on Jeff Ulbrich. You would think that the mindset of it is with Clark Phillips having like that playing time and having the experience in a regular season more so over a guy like a Natron Brooks, a guy that's over a Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts. Like I said, that's not guaranteed that he's going to be a Falcon in 2025. That's just going to be honest with you. Like you said, would I be kind of upset, sad about it? Yes, because like I said, I like Clark Phillips. But the thing about it is you got to follow the mindset of the D coordinator. And I will say this. If Jimmy Lake was still the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, I think Clark Phillips' spot is safer than anything. But when you got a guy like a Jeff Ulbrich, who is a front seven guy in himself, and you have the fact that you drafted Billy Bowman Jr., you have the fact that you drafted an Xavier Watts, who are guys that can kind of be those big nickel slash slot corner guys, it kind of it kind of puts Clark Phillips in a bind here because he's got to do it. He's got to be that dude. He's got to show out and say, okay, yeah, this is my job and I want to do it. And you can't do that while being injured. This is why a guy like Troy Anderson is on the bubble right now, in my opinion. Because one of those quote unquote safeties can actually take his job. So, like you said, we're in a crucial situation where we got one more preseason game, and this is why I say preseason is very important right now for the fact that you only have 3 games. You only have a couple games to make 40 something damn cuts. This is one of the major reasons why you don't see a lot of the starters there because you want to make sure you got those backups in the right way. Now, like I said, every NFL team is not going to start their starters. You got some that are doing it. You got some that are don't. We saw Tennessee; they did their starters in the last preseason game. That's fine and dandy as well. But everything is always going to be dictated about what the head coach wants to do, what and how quick you want to do it. Like you said, we saw DJ Shark get cut. We've seen a couple guys here and there. Big Ant here says preseason games matter for development. You have to know who will fill out the rest of your roster. And that's a fact right there. Let's go back. Let's go back to the leaderboards of the live. We have D Sloan at number 1 right now. So definitely shout out to everybody that's watching. Um, so as D Sloan being the number 1 of the live right now, man, like I said, if you got a question right here, definitely go ahead and get that question up in here and we'll go ahead and answer it from there. But while we're waiting on your question, let's get to the second topic of the show. And this is kind of like some NFL news here. For those that may not have paid attention to it, we see in the NFL side of things that there were 2 confirmed starting quarterbacks for the start of the 2025 NFL season. And you saw Auntie Pam, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, look. I will say too, make sure y'all tune in. Hey, we got a star-studded event. We got star-studded lineup tonight. As if you didn't get a chance to check out Mr. White's network channel, he just went offline. Like I said, we got the Lady Birds of AFN coming up at 8 o'clock, where they got an interview coming up with a very special lady. So make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to Atlanta Falcon Nation LLC with that. And we're closing it out with the minister. Jew Talk Sports is going to be talking some Falcon football tonight as well. So look, I'm just here just to kind of bridge the gap between the times. Because I know y'all don't really want to listen to me talk at times. But I want to go ahead and throw that in there. Let's get to the NFL aspect of this live right here. Let me see. We 19 minutes in. So the NFL news that's been going on here is for the Indianapolis Colts. Your boy Daniel Jones has been named QB1 for the start of the 2025 NFL season. Yes, that Daniel Jones, that was the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. Yes, that Daniel Jones, who was the backup quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings last year. Now, y'all may be looking at this situation and saying, how was that possible? Daniel Jones is not that good. You got to ask yourself this one question with this. Is it that Daniel Jones is not that good? Or is it that Anthony Richardson is not that available? Because you're looking at a situation in Indianapolis right now where the Colts, where you have a guy in the Anthony Richardson who is a highly touted prospect of a quarterback, an unfinished product, aka a project, who has all the physical tools, but his biggest issue is he can't stay. He hasn't played a full healthy season as a quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. So we have a lot of football fans and Colts fans that are looking at this situation and are being kind of upset about it because they feel like they feel like why is Daniel Jones named QB1 in Indianapolis and he's nowhere the talent of Anthony Richardson? Let me say it to you like this. How good is Anthony Richardson really? Let me say that again. How good is Anthony Richardson? We don't damn know. He ain't played enough games. He ain't been healthy for a full season. Even going back to college in Florida, we don't know how, like I say, he was almost average at best. But the thing about it is his potential is solely based on his athleticism and measurables. But the thing about it is instead of looking at this as a bad thing for him, this is a good thing for him because what it does is it takes the pressure off of him and it will allow him to develop the little nuances of the quarterback position that he so heavily lacks. This is pretty much a situation where with Daniel Jones, this is his job to lose. And Anthony Richardson can learn the other nuances of the position and of the NFL league, which is why I have no issue with this whatsoever. Everything for the Colts offense is going to be based on how healthy is Jonathan Taylor anyway. And not only just Jonathan Taylor, but how healthy is that offensive line too. So we're going to be paying attention to that situation and looking at it like, hey, can they get it done? Southside here says Jones is the better quarterback. I'm surprised they haven't contacted us about Kirk because Kirk costs too much damn money. He costs too much money. Teams ain't gonna take a chance on that when he costs too much. Let's just keep it real. Um, Shout out to Big Ant. He's at ARK stay healthy. He has missed 19 games already. That is old. I didn't even know it was that many games. That's a lot of games. That was, yeah. The Colts said they not taking a chance on a guy they can't rely to be there for 17 games. So it makes perfect sense. Now, there's some other news that just came out too, and this goes with another starting quarterback in the NFL, and that's your boy Joe Flacco being named the QB1 for the Cleveland Browns for 2025. And this is where all the stank attitudes and the woke crowd is upset about this, where we got nigga like Willie D. Live talking about Shador Sanders was set up for failure because Joe Flacco was named QB1. And this is a lot of folks. And it ain't just him, but it's a lot of folks that's thinking like this. Once again, this is a situation where you have a older, experienced quarterback who is only there to be the bridge guy for whoever is the next guy. Southside said, I'm pretty sure everybody knew he was going to be the starter. The real news is who's going to be QB2. Well, as of right now, with Shador Sanders and his busted shoulder, I think he's going to be the QB2. But while he's hurt right now, it's probably going to be most likely Dylan Gabriel. But like you said, the Cleveland Browns had a interesting quarterback scenario going on, a quarterback situation going on, for the simple fact that you had just traded for Kenny Pickett in the offseason, which I don't know why you did that. You still held on to Joe Flacco. You drafted Dylan Gabriel in the third round, and you drafted Shador Sanders in the fifth round. And then you messed around and picked another quarterback up literally a week ago. And that situation in itself is very interesting to me, because really the main quarterback that has been standing out in Cleveland land is Shador Sanders. Um, Dylan Gabriel had a decent amount of game. This last week he had a decent game. But the thing about it is we're possibly looking at a RG3 Kirk Cousins situation in Cleveland with the two rookie quarterbacks. Like you said, we know Joe Flacco ain't finna last no whole 17 game season. That motherfucker is sitting here like, hey, I'm just gonna start this off. Whichever one of y'all asses is ready, I'ma sit my ass down. D. Kobe said he's a whole champion and still serviceable. He said Dylan Gabriel TV looked like an infant. Yeah, he's not. Yeah. Dylan Gabriel is a slow ass version of Kyler Murray. He's a non-athletic version of Kyler Murray. That's all. That's all you're gonna get out of him with that. But let me ask everybody a question that's tuning in right here. Out of Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders, who do you feel is deserving of that quarterback two spot? And to add to that conversation, would it be wise for the Cleveland Browns to trade whoever is the guy that's left out? Let me see. Jay Diaz here says Browns grasping at straws. Yeah, we've seen that. Bad Mike here says leaving the door open for someone to take the spot. Yeah. And said good old Smoking Joe. Southside here said just based off of QB size and athleticism, it has to be Shador. Me, Gabriel is tiny. The thing about it is, I'm not worried about how big or small a guy is. I just based on what I seen from Dylan Gabriel at Oregon, he not really that good. That's just my opinion. It could be different from everybody else. He like I said, he's just a he is Kyler Murray, but he's just average at everything else. A137, what's going on, man? Um, D. Coleman here said, if you're truly a Shador fan, you might want him to sit the first 6, 7 weeks. That schedule is tough. They could start over, so let Flacco take the lumps. And that's pretty much kind of like the old school way of how they used to do young quarterbacks anyway, is the aspect of you let the veterans take the lumps so the young guys can kind of see the preparation and see how fast the game is on the sideline. Like you said, you're still going to need those on field reps, but this is why when a lot of people were talking about Shador Sanders and the outrage of him being drafted the way he was to the Cleveland Browns, me, Mike, everybody, whole other lives was talking about. This was one of the best situations that Shador Sanders could have went down, is because now three things has happened. He got drafted to a QB situation that he can definitely make some noise off rip. Two, you got drafted in a spot where there's no expectation whatsoever. And three, you have become the martyr for a lot of these. For you become the martyr to win, to in which if you win the quarterback spot, you're automatically a fan favorite. So, so we can sit over here, we can cry, bitch, and moan about why Shador Sanders got drafted this late. Why didn't he get drafted by the Giants? Why the Saints didn't draft him? And why did they take Dylan Gabriel before his ass and stuff like that? I'm like, no. He got drafted in the right position because he is the second best quarterback in this draft. And he literally went to a situation where he has no pressure. You added a Sanders kid to a situation where he has no pressure and he can develop into what he can be. Sounds like a win-win situation for me. Said Cleveland got Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, the first 6 weeks. Shador and Dylan don't need that in their life. No, yeah, no. You right. You take that old man and let that old man take all the lumps on that shit. Yeah, he's like, y'all can kiss my ass on that. But let me see. We already over the 30-minute mark. It is 6:38. We got 10 more minutes, y'all. We got give a few more minutes. We're gonna let y'all go ahead and ask some questions here, Q&A it up here before we get up on out of here. As I already said, the leaderboards of the live today, we have D Sloan, we got Reggie 2K, and we got Big A. That's 1, 2, 3. So, like I said, definitely shout out to everybody that's sitting here and watching me talk some football over here, because most of y'all didn't have to do that. Because I know y'all ain't used to me being by my goddamn self. So I definitely appreciate y'all. If y'all new to the channel, y'all make sure you hit the subscribe button to the 6MK Live. Like I said, man, 6MK versus Kev is definitely something that's definitely going to be more frequent, but it's also going to depend on the input of y'all. Y'all's input dictates this show. So if you don't give too much input, then System K versus Kev doesn't really happen like that. Rather it be input through DMs, comments, cash apps. It's all gonna be there. So we'll go through some more of these comments. Like I said, if I don't get any questions within the next couple minutes, we're gonna get up on out of here. Uh let's see what we got here. D. Coleman said everybody getting fired at Indy. They knew that boy was ass when they drafted him. Yeah. Anthony Richardson to me was a guy who was drafted solely based off of physical genetics. 6'5", 240, 4'4", 40, strongest arm in the draft. D. Coleman here says, who do you think winning the NFC West this year? Ooh, the NFC West this year? Um, I'm gonna say the 49ers. I think the 49ers have the best chance of winning the NFC West this year. Um, Everything's gonna be dictated on how healthy Christian McCaffrey is. I know they don't have a Debo Samuel anymore, but the thing that the 49ers did was they constantly added to that defense, which is the identity of that organization. As we already know with Brock Purdy is a game manager at best, which is fine. Ain't nothing wrong with being the game manager, but like I said, the team is built for them. The team is built for them to win that division this year, so I could say the 49ers. Anthony Richardson is the EJ Manuel of Terrell Pryor. Digo, sit your ass down somewhere. We ain't doing. You just added a double negative and a position change for Anthony Richardson. That's messed up. Well, Southside talking about the 49ers have the warmest strength of schedule in you know what? You know what? No, we not doing that. We not doing that. Let me see what we got here. All right, so we only ended up with one question here, which is all good. It said the weakest. Yeah, they got the weakest. That's why it's the warmest. When you get like extra warm and shit. You know how your body gets weak when it's extra warm, especially after it's being cold, and you hit that warmth, and all of a sudden you just lay down and just yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So you ain't gotta worry about that. So I don't really see too many more questions here. Like I said, definitely shout out to everybody that's been tuning in. Um, said Rams, but Stafford's injury is tricky. Uh, Arizona ain't worth a damn. Arizona ain't worth a damn. I'm just saying that now. That's why I said the 49ers have the best chance of winning the NFC West. And JDS, you sit down somewhere. Don't be like don't be talking about my snore. I already get enough of that from Mr. Styles already. John, what's going on, man? Hey, shit, you came in at a very interesting time because we about to get up on out of here. For those that may be tuning in a little bit late, make sure you go ahead and you recap this show. Um, hopefully you pull little notes out of here that you could bring to your football conversations outside of here. Like you said, man, Six and K versus Kev. This is the solo dolo version of it. John, sit your ass down somewhere. Uh, like I said, man, y'all just make sure y'all go ahead and continue to support System K Live. Like I said, we have, like I said, the Lady Birds of AFN. They will be coming on at 8:05 p.m. They got special guests, so I think y'all might want to tune in to that. As well as we have the Minister Jew Talk Sports, who's going to be doing What's the Word Dirty Bird tonight at 9 p.m. 9:05 p.m. So, hey, I just wanted to get my thoughts out on this, man. Like I said, man, appreciate y'all tuning in. And like you said, man, we got the 6-man convo coming up on Thursday. So I haven't decided what I want to do on that yet. So until next time, people, hey, we appreciate you. Y'all go ahead and get ready for the rest of the shows. And I'm out. Deuces.